Hey everybody, it's Connor from the Steel Lodge, and today we're checking out the biggest releases for October on the Steam Deck, and also the most popular games during the month of October for the Steam Deck. The Steam Deck Twitter puts out these updates pretty frequently, and it's pretty nice to know what people are playing here on the Steam Deck. I'm not sure if there's an order to this, but I'd assume that the top one here is the most played, and then the one at the bottom is the least played. Starting off here, we have Vampire Survivors. Now this game recently just hit its 1.0 release, and if you've never played Vampire Survivors before, this game's a ton of fun. I've played about 27 hours of this game overall. I still have a lot left to do, and the 1.0 release was really nice to have. It added a bunch of new features, and this game is constantly just getting better and better. It's honestly one of the perfect games for the Steam Deck. When I'm flying or going somewhere for work, I really like to play this game on the go. Sessions are pretty quick, they take around 30 minutes, and there's so much to do, so many characters and items to upgrade and play around with, so Vampire Survivors is a great one, and it makes a ton of sense why people are playing this on the Steam Deck. Right now, if I just check, there's about 15,000 people playing this game, and honestly, probably a good chunk of those are on the Steam Deck. Next up, we have Persona 5 Royal, and this is one of my favorite games of all time. I recently did a video covering why you should definitely play this game on the Steam Deck, so I won't take too long on this one, but here on Steam, it has a 97% review score, overwhelmingly positive reviews. This game is one of the games that people really wanted to come to PC and other platforms just to get off the PlayStation only, and the Steam Deck is basically the perfect place to play this. You have better fidelity than the Switch, and the game will sync to your computer, so you can also play it on your monitor or back on the couch. So it's great to see Persona 5 Royal up so high here, and hopefully it lets Atlas know that we PC gamers really love seeing the franchise over on PC and want more games over here as well. Next up for the top releases of October, we have Uncharted: The Legacy of Thieves Collection. Now personally for me, I probably wouldn't play this one on the Steam Deck. I'd rather just play it on my desktop PC and then put it on my OLED TV because it would look way better there, and this is a game with very high visual fidelity. I don't think the performance on the Steam Deck is the best here. I think people were able to get around 40 FPS. Now this game originally came out for the PS4, both of these versions, but it did get enhanced for the PS5, and then obviously the PC version is going to look the best here. I think there were some problems that I saw in the Digital Foundry video, but hopefully this port gets better with time, because it seemed like one of the PlayStation ports that's not ideal, but the performance is pretty good. Hopefully over time this port gets better and better, and we see more features added to it visually. I would love to see ray tracing added to this one, but I don't know if that will actually come, and that's not something on the Steam Deck that you really would want to do. But it's great seeing this one here on the Steam Deck, so Sony will want to bring over more games to the PC. It's really nice seeing Sony release games more frequently on the PC. It seems like a year is generally the time frame it takes now from release of the game on the PS5 to the PC, and obviously there's older games that getting moved over too. We would all love to see Bloodborne on the PC, Sony probably knows that. But the live service titles, it seems like, are going to be day and date on the PC also going forward. So when that Last of Us multiplayer component comes out, maybe it'll hit PC at the same time as a PlayStation platform. Moving along here next, we have Gotham Knights. Now, Gotham Knights did not review well. It's not really a secret to anybody. This game has got really large performance problems, not only on the PC, but also on console. So I don't even know how well this game will perform on the Steam Deck. Right now it's got a mostly positive review score at 72% on Steam, but I think the Metascore is 69, so not ideal definitely, and not as good as we have seen previously from the franchise, the Arkham franchise. This is developed by a different studio though, it's WB Montreal, and it's not actually done by Rocksteady, who is currently developing the Suicide Squad game. So I wouldn't be surprised if midway through the development of this game they pivoted away from the live service model and more of just a multiplayer model with friends. The game seemed to suffer overall from that, but honestly, the biggest issue seems like the performance is just dreadful in this game, so hopefully the developers can clean that up and make the game more fun and enjoyable overall. Now next up we have Potionomics. I think this is one that my girlfriend wants to check out, and so does my sister. I haven't heard a ton about it right now, but it seems like a game that would run pretty well on the Steam Deck. The graphics aren't that demanding, it looks like, or anything like that, but it seems like a very relaxing, casual game to play. Seems like it's a deck builder, and I love deck builders, so maybe I need to check this one out. It has a very positive reviews here on Steam. Always nice to see indie games hitting high up on the charts for the Steam Deck. And this one also is Steam Deck verified as well. Now we have Coral Island. This is one that my girlfriend has been playing a lot on Game Pass, and I have heard really good things about this. If you like Harvest Moon or Stardew Valley, this one seems like it'll be right up your alley. It's got a pretty simple 3D art style here, but it seems like there's a ton of characters you can interact with, and my girlfriend has really been loving the game. It's still in early access right now, so it'll probably be a while before the full release, but this one is rated very positive here on Steam as well. So if you like farming games or casual games, it definitely seems like this one is a strong one to check out. Now we have Mount & Blade 2 Bannerlord. This is one that just came out of early access, so I've been looking forward to this one. I played the original Mount & Blade just a little bit way back in the day when I was much younger, and honestly I think it was too much for me. It was just going over my head, but I do want to try this game out now that it fully released. I don't know if I have the time necessarily to do so because I think this game is very involved. And I already want to go over to Total War Warhammer 3 and play a campaign in there again. I just don't really have the time with all these videos, work, and some other games that I'm trying to beat right now. So I'm not sure how this one runs on the Steam Deck. I would hope it would run pretty good. The graphics aren't the most insane or anything, but there's a lot of simulation going on, so I might hit that CPU pretty hard here. Regardless, I definitely want to check this one out on the Steam Deck going forward. Now we have Victoria 3. Now one of my friends was looking forward to this game quite a bit. He loves these paradox strategy games. Right now this one's sitting at a mixed score, and personally for me, I don't know how I would like this game on the Steam Deck or even a game like it, because you're gonna have to use mouse and keyboard ideally to interact with it. Now obviously the Steam Deck does have the trackpad, but it seems like the text would get very small on the Steam Deck screen and make it hard to interact with. This game doesn't have a Steam Deck status either, but I assume that people are definitely playing it on the Steam Deck if the rating on there is so high. And obviously things don't need to have a verification status to be played on the Steam Deck. It's interesting to me though that a game like this is getting a lot of playtime on the Steam Deck as well, because I like games like this, but I'd definitely rather play them on the computer where I have a mouse. The Steam Deck is a very small screen for this. And then for the last two here, we have Triangle Strategy, which is a game that I did coverage on for the Steam Deck. It runs really nice on the Steam Deck, far better than the Nintendo Switch, and this game is made on Unreal Engine 4 using that HD 2D graphic style. Now this one I wanted to play originally because I love Fire Emblem. I played it a little bit on the Switch, but the visuals were quite blurry, so I decided to wait, and when I saw the PC release was coming, I was like, well, I'll just put it on the PC, and it runs great on the Steam Deck. It has very positive reviews here. My girlfriend did beat this one on her Switch, and she really liked it overall, so I do want to get a playthrough in on this game. I love the HD 2D art style and want to see it come to a lot more games here. So it's great for Square Enix that this game was able to get more traction here on the PC as well. The Steam Deck is a great place for this one. And then finally we have Signalis. Now I don't know the most about this game, but I actually really want to play it. I want to keep my information kind of low on it before I go into it, but I've heard of it described as kind of a PS1 graphics style kind of survival horror, and it looks really good. The game doesn't have that many reviews right now, under 1,000, but it has overwhelmingly positive reviews, sitting at a 98%. I think some people have already done some coverage of this on the Steam Deck already. It doesn't have any status or anything, but definitely, if you like horror, survival horror games, check this one out. So those are the top releases of this month, but let's check out what people have been playing the most overall this month, not just things that came out this month. So the top one here is Vampire Survivors, and as I previously mentioned, it makes a lot of sense that this game is at the top. Perfect for the Steam Deck, and it just got its 1.0 release, so people are probably diving back in if they've left the game alone for a while or deciding to pick it up now that it's, you know, quote-unquote content complete with its 1.0 release. Next up, we have the legendary Elden Ring. This is also one of my favorite games of all time. I've completed it, you know, got all the achievements. I love this game. Not much more to say. FromSoft just kills it with their games, in my opinion. I don't personally like playing this one on the Steam Deck the most because I have a nice TV setup, but it runs well on the Steam Deck. You can hit a pretty steady 30 FPS, but it does dip below it sometimes. If I was able to lock it down to 40 FPS more frequently, I would definitely play it more on the Steam Deck, but I'm not playing the game a ton right now. When the DLC gets shown off, I'll probably go back in and play more to get ready for it, but it's just one of the greatest games ever made in my opinion. Now next up here we have Cyberpunk 2077. This game's in a great state right now in my opinion. I've been playing it again after the anime, which was fantastic. Cyberpunk Edgerunners. Definitely check it out if you haven't. This one's now sitting at very positive for recent reviews, with 90% of the recent reviews in the last 30 days being positive, and I really like the state of the game as it is. There was no denying when the game originally came out it was in a very rough state, but now with all the tweaks and updates, it's a lot more enjoyable and a lot more smooth to play. It's a very immersive game with a lot of fun gameplay mechanics, and the expansion should be coming out sometime, hopefully in the next year, and we'll be getting more updates. I'm waiting to play this one more for the RTX override update with my RTX 4090, so I can get the best visual presentation basically in gaming right now. Next up we have Stardew Valley, and this one's just kind of a timeless classic at this point, an indie darling that people just love. A ton of people play this game. You know, it's originally based kind of on Harvest Moon, but it honestly just does it better. Now, I haven't played this one a ton. My girlfriend's played it a ton, my sister's played it a ton, and a lot of my friends have done it a lot, but it's not just really my style of game. I'd say maybe something more like Rune Factory I'd play more, but there's just too many games going on here. But I love seeing the success for indie developers, and it's great that Stardew Valley is being played so much on the Steam Deck. It is the perfect place for it. Now we have No Man's Sky, which is kind of surprising to me. I've heard this game's gotten so much better since launch, kind of like Cyberpunk, but honestly with way more content updates than Cyberpunk has gotten since launch. Still sitting at a mostly positive score. I have not played this one in a really long time. Verified on the Steam Deck, so maybe I need to check out how it runs on there. But I do want to play this one eventually and get into it a lot more because I love space exploration. I'm really looking forward to Starfield, so this will probably scratch that itch a bit more. If any of you are playing No Man's Sky on the Steam Deck, let me know in the comments section down below how things are going here with this one on the deck. Now up next we have Fallout 4, and honestly that's a bit surprising to me that it's so high up on this list. I'd expect Skyrim to be ahead of Fallout 4 because I think more people just like Skyrim and play it in general with all the mods. Fallout 4 still has a ton of mods, but the performance for this one on the Steam Deck is not going to be as good as Skyrim, although I still expect performance for this title to be good on the Steam Deck. I don't think I've actually checked the performance out for myself here. Now this game is ranked as playable on the Steam Deck, and it was announced recently that there will be an update for Fallout 4 on the PC and other platforms, the PS5 and Xbox One, that helps with high frame rates and is going to improve the visuals just a little bit, probably mostly a resolution bump on the consoles, but seeing that high frame rate fix on the PC will be nice so you don't have to mod your game to fix the frame rate. Overall, Fallout 4 is a great game, and seeing it on the Steam Deck makes a lot of sense here. Next up we have Hades from Supergiant Games. I love this game, and I've loved Supergiant Games since Bastion. This one plays a lot more like Bastion, but with way more mechanics going on here, and it's a roguelike, so runs are just infinitely replayable, and there's so much cool content to progress through this game with character dialogue, and just a lot of story to peel back. So if you like hack and slash games, definitely pick up Hades. It runs fantastic on the Steam Deck. Next up here we have Persona 5 Royal, and as I've previously mentioned, I'm really glad this game hit the Steam Deck and runs great on here. I'm very glad to see it crack into the top games of October 2022, even though it released pretty late in the month. Now here we have Skyrim. I'm kind of surprised it's below Fallout 4 because I kind of feel like Skyrim's more popular overall at this point, but they've actually been updating the game a bit more frequently lately, which is kind of surprising to me because the game is so old, but you know, they're going to sell Skyrim as long as they can, and maybe they'll start adding more creation content back into the game, which is what people were theorizing. The pain with that is for modders, because all those little updates and things to the Creation Club can really be a bother, because it can break mods, and then the authors have to go and update their mods. So, but it's good to see that Skyrim's here, because honestly, people just love Skyrim and will play it forever. And another game that people love and will play forever is Grand Theft Auto 5. I'm a bit surprised that it's at the bottom of the list here, because people just love GTA Online, and tons of people play it. It's always one of the top played things on Twitch or on Steam, so not much to say about Grand Theft Auto 5 here though. I haven't actually played this one at all on my Steam Deck, so I don't know how it runs on there, and I don't know how GTA Online handles on the Steam Deck. I'd suspect that most people that are playing this game still are probably playing the multiplayer component of the game, but the single player of this game is also very fun and always a blast to come back to. So that's going to wrap it up here though, guys. It's great that Steam puts out these updates so people really know what's being played, and it's honestly really nice to see a couple indie games breaking into the top games played of the month. That happens pretty frequently now, and that's good to see because a lot of these indie games run a lot better than these big AAA games. Personally for me, the Steam Deck's kind of more for the older games or the indie games that run very well on the console, or even new games like Persona 5 Royal that aren't that visually demanding and run great on there. But for certain games like Cyberpunk 2077 or Elden Ring, I like playing those a lot better on my desktop PC. Obviously, if I'm traveling and really want to take those on the go, I have the ability to, but the Steam Deck's battery just gets chewed up so much by them, and the performance is good, but not ideal. So, the indie games and easy to run games are the ones I like the most for the Steam Deck. But other than that, have a good one everybody, and I'll talk to you later.